Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kikau. Ya Allah, kikau. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wa bihi nasta'in ala kulli umuri dunya waddin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Sayyidina wa habibina wa syafi'ina wa nuri qulubina wa qurrati a'yunina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Na'ina ta'alluma wa ta'alim wa tadhakkura wa tazkir wa nafa' wa intifa' والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني وشرب صافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني وشرب صافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علما لدني وشرب صافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Okay, as mentioned last week, right? We're gonna do the Padlet first. Okay, we're going to Padlet first, right? To go through whatever we've not gone through. And then inshallah we will I have made the quiz. But now my quiz has gone down to 10 questions. It used to be 20 questions. I know, ya Allah, the busyness of this semester. Right? But I'm trying. So inshallah, the questions will be like focused questions. Inshallah. Right. So I've been out, I think the quiz, what do you call it? Link, right? It has been given out. So if y'all can like go to the drive, you can find it here. Okay, I think did I give out? I think I gave it out, right? You can make the quiz link. The quiz is open, right? I think it's open, should be open. Okay lah. So you all can just do the quiz. Okay, right. Am I lagging? Is everybody thinking that I'm lagging? Okay. So here, let me just go through what we have not gone through yet. So the first question here, right, is blood on ovulation. Let me just make it bigger. Okay. So Assalamualaikum Ustazah, after that, on the 12th day, I know blood can be seen on the clear ovulation discharge. I have nice slow menses. Okay, this one is shit. There's two opinions on this thing. Right. The first opinion, clear opinion, is that you're still not passing days. Right. So they count the 12th day as being within the menses days because it's red blood. And so there is the opinion that you can count that as menses. Right? However, there's another opinion, right, that goes that if you're very sure it is not menstrual blood, right, but it is some form of injury, right, a blood from injury, right, because ovulation blood is a form of injury, right, because the ovary, I think there's like a, I don't know how it works. I think it's a rupture, is it? It ruptures, not ruptures, it's like it releases an egg. So whenever the ovary, some people have ovulation pain. Like I used to have, I don't have it anymore. But I used to have pain. So whenever I ovulate, my left or right, depending on the month, I will have a very like stabbing pain in the side, right? Because the ovary is releasing an egg into the fallopian tube, right? So for me, when I have this kind of pains, right, and it could be pain or not pain, right? That is when you have like a spot of blood. It's like a spot of blood that appears randomly. So so if you are very sure that there has nothing to do with your menses, right? But you're very, very sure it is due to ovulation. Another possibility is implantation. Right. So if a woman gets pregnant, pregnant is implantation bleeding, right? So a woman gets pregnant, and it's possible the implantation happened within the 15 days of the first day of menses. Right. So she gets her menses, she ends her menses maybe on the 5th day or whatever. Also got very short menses, right? And then on the 5th day she becomes clean. And then maybe by her 10th day, she's ovulating. Or 11 or 12 days she's ovulating. It's possible. It's possible for that woman to have very fast, very quick cycles. So maybe she gets pregnant. And then with the implantation of the zygote, right, on the wall of the ovary, right, for some women, there is bleeding. Right? There is pain and there is bleeding for some women. Right. So if she notices this, right, so now comes the ruling. So the first and original ruling is al-hukm ala al-zahir. Hukum ala zahir meaning that the ruling on Allah Sayyidina Muhammad. The ruling on um Allah Hadi Rafika. Okay. Khalil, play with the kittens. Okay. Right. So you can use the broom. They like to play the broom, the lady broom, the lady. Take out one lady. They love to play with that one. Take out one lady and play with them. Okay. So anyway, just so the hukum ala zahir, it means the apparent ruling, right? If you don't want to think so much, like I don't think so much. Right. So okay, 15 days, see blood, menses. Okay, within the 15 days, you see blood, menses. If you don't want to think so much, right? But if you're like, you know what, I don't think it's menses, I think there's another cause for it. There's some form of injury or some form of other reasons why there's bleeding, right? Then if you're very sure, and you have to be 100% sure, right? So for ovulation, for me, I will feel the pain. Then it'd be like a spot and it goes away. These are all signs. And you can read online, ovulation bleedings, ovulation bleedings, you read up and expand that on your science knowledge. Yeah, science knowledge. And then and then I mean let's go into a bit of how a womb works. Right. So fiqh, it encourages us to go and learn the science of it, the biology behind it, right? So if you are very sure that it is, and in fact, if later on it comes out that you are pregnant, right? So then it's even more proof that that was implantation. And so when you do your calculations and so on, you find that, okay, yes, it is, you had intercourse, it's a high possibility there was implantation, right? So in the sense, there's a lot of, basically you have to do your own ishtihad. It's called ishtihad. You have to do your own ishtihad. Right? Ishtihad meaning figure yourself out. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to, if you're confused, you don't know what it is, then go by the default, which is within 15 days of the first day of bleeding, is all menses. Okay, so you can always rely on that ruling because there is a base ruling, there's a foundation ruling, there's an asl. So you can always go back to that, and there is no sin on doing so. I can always, and which means that from day 7 to day 12 for this person, was all menses if she counted that as menses. But if she was very clear, right? If she was very clear, that it is not menses, right? But it is ovulation bleeding, right? Then she has right, then she has she's allowed to stay at her menses, and on the 7th day and on the 12th day it was fasad. Right, so in Arabic you call it damul fasad. Damul fasad meaning that it was from an injury. Right. So last week I had a question coming in whereby someone had finished her menses, right, and then she had intercourse, right, and then in cleaning out the fluid of her husband, she over cleaned herself, and then she caused for bleeding from her vagina, right, and so it was clearly a scratch. She scratched her own self, right, or she basically she injured her own self. So of course it's within the 15 days, right, but then clearly she said the blood is clearly blood of injury. So you have to be very clear. Blood of injury happened to me, I think just a few months ago. I didn't see my menses. I saw I was really white after I bathed. And then sometimes it's embarrassing, but sometimes there are pimples that form right at your private side, and the pimples in like zits and pimples, right? And sometimes they're really, they can be quite large, painful. So some of those pimples, if they rupture or if they burst, blood comes out, right? So I was so I already clean, clear white, and I already bathed everything. Then I saw my line that this blood out of nowhere, but on one spot. It wasn't like normally like in the center, it was at the corner of it, and it was at one spot, right? And then so of course I went to check I know there was a pimple somewhere. I went to check if it has ruptured or not. Then true enough, it had burst. So I know the blood is the pimple blood. It's nothing to do with my reproductive system at all, right? So this is why men are not supposed to listen in. So all like woman stuff. Right, but it's possible. It's possible that you have all these things growing on these pimples growing on your body parts, right? And it's possible that you, sometimes even with regards to istinja or scratching, people scratch themselves till, like in Malay, we say melicit. Right? Melicit meaning like that you scratch the skin so much that it becomes so thin that it begins to bleed, right? So it possible people do that to their own private parts, right? And because the skin there is so quite thin, right? So it's possible. So all of this is all under dam fasad. It's all dam fasad, meaning dam of blood of injury, right? So ovulation, bleeding, injury. In the sense there's an injury in the ovary. Implantation, bleeding. is also a form of injury because the zygote is not implanting and the disturbance in the womb, and it comes out. Right, scratching yourself, hurting yourself, doing extra digging, Allah alam, right? Pimple blood, like, so. If at any point in time you can link the blood to a cause that is not menstrual, it's a separate outside cause, then work on that, and then work on that, right? That it is something else that is causing the bleeding, right? And not it is not menses. So then all a bit of biology understanding lah, right? So my answer here is, if you're sure it's ovulation bleeding, then the reading is ovulation bleeding. So menses ends at 7, right? Day 7. Right? But if you're not sure, then you go back to the asl. Right? So basically, you're on your yaqeen. Right? So if you're not sure whether this is ovulation or remnants of menses, right? Then you go back to the asl, which is menses. Menses. Right? So someone who's after season menses, like and clear discharge. Yes, and the back comes after that. It is possible. Of course, the games especially if it's a weak little spot like your normal med, not because IUD other reasons. Okay, so same thing. You must be very sure the reason. You can't have like, you're not so sure, not sure was the reason. You can't tell, you don't know, right? But it's not normal, but you don't know, right? So the yaqeen is where? Yaqeen is menses. Yaqeen is menses. So you only work on your yaqeen, right? So my answer to this is, right, you can only give a ruling, right, based on certainty, right? Or certainty, i.e. yaqeen, right? So if you are not sure what is the cause, then the yaqeen is menses, right? That is the asl, right? Because it is asl, right? Because Allah, it is the yeah, because it is the asl, right? Asl meaning the base ruling, asl, i.e. right, base ruling, right? So in the sense, like by default, any blood that comes out, Ibrahim, any blood, I'm Ibrahim, any blood that comes out within the 15 days of the first year of menses, the default ruling, I say not basically default ruling, okay, default, Allah, the default ruling, right, is that it is menses, okay, the default ruling, right? So default ruling stands unless otherwise proven, okay? Default ruling stands unless otherwise proven. So same thing like, you have some people when they get pregnant, the womb expands. So the expansion of the womb, there's bleeding, right? So on the outward, looks like menses because it's been what 40 days since the last menses or whatever. So like 1 month after, then you feel cramps, crampy, pain, and then some bleeding comes out. So on the outward, what does it look like? Menses, right? So you give the ruling as menses, right? So you stop praying. And then the bleeding stops. Before 24 hours is up, the bleeding stops. Right. Right. And then, so after 24 hours, the bleeding stops. And then, why do we say that? And then, and then you check yourself and everything, and it's proven you are pregnant, right? And you go on and carry on and you give birth after that, right? So now the default ruling is cancelled out, right? Because it's default ruling until proven otherwise. So now you're proven otherwise that it is pregnancy and not menses, right? And that all of that bleeding was actually because of the expansion of the womb, which some women experience, right? And the expansion of the womb, especially in the first few months, can be like cramps, can be crampy, right? But you're pregnant and not having menses. Okay, so default ruling unless proven otherwise. Okay, don't let the baby grab the cat. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Let me change the color of this one. Why is it not moving? See lah. Okay, so I hope that's clear. All right. Okay, everybody okay, right? Okay, now change the color. Okay, so let's go down further, a bit down. Okay, so here, next question. So all of this Q&A, I hope is like revision lah, right? So that you can, the whole point of this Q&A, initially I wanted people to answer, but I realized that by people answering, it makes things more confusing. So I will do all the answering, right? I have opened up the comments so people can add on their questions, but if possible, refrain from answering. Right. So answers only when you see Fana Munshi there. Then you take the answer as my name there. Okay. But all the anonymous is more for people to follow up questions, right, or to clarify certain things. So let leave it there. So I think answering I'll leave to myself to address it. Right. But I hope that all these go-to questions, it does a lot of revision. And those who are new to these classes, I would say to you, please catch up on the classes. Right. Don't try not to, you can attend it, on the live ones, right? But if you can go to my YouTube, right? Miss Fanamushi. Okay, if you can go to my YouTube, you go to the playlist, you should find it there. Okay, so you go to the playlists, right? And you should find it under here, right? So create the playlist. You should find it here. So making sense of Menses, right? So you view the full playlist. So I would say I see the kitten playing with the mouse. So anyway, so please, those who are new, please revise. Please revise, because I see some questions that have been already addressed. Right, so please revise. We're already. How come we have two episode 7? Later I'll figure it out. Why we have two episode 7, 6, 8, and why we got 2, 7? Allahu Alam. Oh, another is 9. I've got to change it. So it's supposed to be 9. Sorry. Okay. Now. Oh, look at it. Okay, now sorry, I'm playing with the cat. Okay, tamam. Let's go back to the because of Menses. Tamam. So here she says, so I hope you all can go there and revise, okay? So Assalamualaikum, Ustazah, I have a few questions. First one, if until 10 days you don't see any white discharge, yellow discharge, after 10 day, until 10 day, there is no dry, no discharge after 9 day onwards. Does it have to be white or very light yellow, because sometimes it's very close to each other? I remember the answer is I just put it already. But basically, from what you're telling me, right? My full answer. Okay, I have to quickly, right? You need to differentiate between. They spelled it wrongly. The differentiate between yellow blood and yellow discharge. Right, and this is known by the texture. Yes, Ibrahim. Why? Known by the texture and amount, right? Texture and amount, and also like this case and viscosity. Is it texture? Viscosity, viscosity. Okay. So usually like discharge will have a discharge feel to it. You should know how discharge feels by now. Right, like this, it's thick or it's slimy. Right, you can have like a jaram. We call it in Arabic jaram. It means there's a substance to it, like a form, right? But blood is smears. It's blood. So you should be able to tell the difference. But from what you're telling me, it sounds a lot like you're already clean from 9. It sounds like it. But I will have to know what's your yellow, because you quite a discharge. So if you tell me it's discharge, I'm going to take it as discharge. If you tell me it's blood, I'll take it as blood. All right. So you need to tell me, is it discharge or blood? Okay. You must know what is yellow blood. Yellow blood, basically, if you look at normal red blood, you'll see the yellow blood by the sides. The yellow blood is there. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Next one, white discharge with streaks of blood. Okay, someone answer this. White discharge with streaks of blood. So as I mentioned, those who ask these questions, right, I think you have not gone through the classes. Okay, that's my husnul zone of you all, right? But if you have gone through the classes and still don't understand, then I say to you, go through it again. Go through it again, because this question is addressed. Has been addressed, right, in the previous classes. So I'm on day 9 or period on day 7, discharge was yellow, then hence of period 8 and 9 was clearing, and then now streaks of blood in the discharge. Would a clear discharge means you're clean? No. Right? Why? Because got blood. Okay? Full stop. It's regardless of all the white around it. It's that one line of red, or one drop of red. How does it blood? There's blood. Right? So there's blood, you're on Menses. You are on Menses. So blood streaks in clear discharge equals to Menses. Spotting equals to Menses. Okay, don't differentiate. Don't try and separate spotting and Menses. They're the same thing, right? As long as the conditions are met. Okay, 15 days of clean before that, and it continues for more than 24 hours. Okay, all of you control. Okay, so I'm going to change the color of this one as well. So we know that we have done the colored questions here and the questions. To do. Okay, the questions here. All right. Tamam. So when I go further down, okay, number chapter 2. All right. Chapter 2, so I'm not addressed it. Okay, tamam. Here, if a future period, which is normally 7 days, it always ends with light yellow, then clear discharge. But today you see a small speck of red or pink blood once it is menstruation, since within the possible day of hate, even in small quantity and strange color. Answer is yes. Right? Yes, menses. Okay. Basically, it's menses. That is regardless. It's regardless of the quantity, strength, and color. It's regardless. Okay, regardless. Because why? Colors of menses, and within 15 days. Okay, colors of menses within 15 days. 2 or 3 days after you clean, mustahil or impossible for it to be, or almost not possible for it to be ovulation. Okay, or implantation, because you just clean, right? So you just 7 days clean, right? So almost not possible at all. I will completely rule out that it was ovulation or implantation, right? Because it's so close to your menses, right? Not possible. The body takes at least, I think, about a week after menses to actually begin to ovulate, right? So menses, red color, pink blood, all this small speck, whatever it is, within the 15 days, menses, colors, okay, menses. Okay, I hope that's clear. Okay, here, let me see. Here, okay, so today we are, Nikiti is playing with the screen. Who's meowing like that? How can you see? Why is Dulu meowing? No, Dulu, I scared she wants to pee in the corner. Okay, so that's what Dulu is doing. Don't know whether it's sah to name a cat, a donkey's name. I do wonder. But then it's called Koswa, so I named her as a camel. She's meowing somewhere. Go ahead. No. To do like the hide behind the scene. Okay, let me just go down all the way. All the way. Bismillah. Where's the first white color? I was doing the slides. Then I realized that the original slides, all of the whoever made my slide background previously, the slides background. Oh, this is a new one. Tamam. Is I've not gone through any of these questions. Tamam. Let me go all the way down, okay? So I think I will just take some of the questions. I'll go on to this lesson, inshallah. Right, but this is all revision, right? Allah, or none of it I have done, mashallah. Okay, all the way down. Okay, tamam. Let me just see what is the title of this. Purity from hate and nifas. Today this is the quiz for today. So just nice. I'm going to do all the questions and you're going to do the quiz. Okay, so all of you going to do the quiz, Ibrahim. Do the quiz. Okay, do the 10 days quiz. Okay, inshallah. 10 days, 10 questions, inshallah. Okay, let me just start from the bottom, right? Okay, so here, first question here, less than 15 days of purity. What happens if menses does fall within the 15 days of haid, but the next cycle comes on a 13 and 14 days of purity? Discharge is brown and bloody that usually leads to menstrual cycle, constipated for past 1 year. Okay, what's the answer? Come, everybody put on the chat. Huh? Allah. Who put in the kitchen? Don't put in the kitchen is very dangerous because they can go under the cow. Okay, not you. Not you. Okay, not you. Halas. Okay, somehow other kitty could jump over the barrier. Okay, not you, halas. I didn't say it's you. Okay. So what's the answer? Everybody put on the chat. Check what's the answer. What's the person next cycle comes on the point of purity? What is the answer? Come, everybody put on the chat. Where's everybody's answer on the chat? Yes, correct. Put everybody, put to me. Okay, put to everybody. Okay, answer the question. I want you all to interact and answer the questions. Istihadhah, correct. It's istihadhah. Okay, so even if your menses comes early, if for as long as 2 cycles are not connected, Okay, and I hope today you all score full marks. Everybody score full marks for the test. Only 10 questions. I can get full marks. Come on. The way of the Zahra, the way of the Zahra is that they try their best to get Ibrahim man. Okay, they try their best to make everybody full marks, right? The Zahra. They're like, you need to get full marks. You can't be ustazas 50% ustazas. You can't be 70% ustazas. In the result, the passing grade is 75%. Right. So, and this is where the teachers score, or the students score at least 95% for all our exams. It's because you can't be like a 75% ustaza, and then half the time you have no idea, or one quarter you have no idea what you're ruling, right? You can't like oh, let me check my fiqh book, I don't know, on your fingertips. It's Istihadhah, correct. Alhamdulillah. Right. So two cycles do not connect. You cannot say that, okay, my period cycle was too long. It was like 12 days. Then because of that, now my new cycle it became too early. Right? Two cycles do not connect. Right? They don't connect, Ibrahim. Right? They don't connect. So once you finish one cycle, if another cycle, right, is different. Tamam. Okay, so the new cycle day one starts with the no, it does not start with the 14 day of purity, no, right? But you have to finish your 15 days of purity exactly to the hour, then you start your day one. Okay, then you start day one, right? Tradition day 13, 14 is istihadhah, correct? Right, serving the minimum 15 days, correct? Right, so Haslinda, well done. She answered the question. Right, 15 days of purity after the last menses. Minimum 15 days of purity within 2 menses, correct. I confirm her answer, correct. Right, so you need to finish out 15 days of tour, and the ruling is Istihadhah. Let's do the next question. Okay, tamam. Right, so okay, I'm going to go through up all the way. Okay, tamam. Question here. Okay, of course, I need to just reiterate this over and over again, that for as long as you are trying your best, right, to figure out, are you on clean or are you on menses, there is no sin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not hold to account or hold sinful the one who makes a mistake, right? And there is dalil from the Quran, right? In Sayyidina Muhammad, the Rasul, right? Before that, سؤال فاسمه فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء من الرسول ما أنزل إليه من ربه قال سمعنا وأطعنا غفرنا ربنا وإليك المصير. تمام. شايف كده آيات من الرسول ما أنزل إليه من ربه قالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعرفها لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. In Surah Baqarah, the end, لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. There's a hukum on the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do not hold us to account, Ya Allah. Do not hold us to account if we have forgotten or we make a mistake. All right? Or we make a mistake. Okay, so from that dalil in the Quran, I hope that people now, right, you don't say, oh, I'm afraid I'm sinful, so therefore I just bathe. And I'm not so sure if I'm clean, I just bathe because I'm afraid I'm sinful. I know you can only be when you have yaqeen. Right? Or you say, oh, I've been praying, I don't know why am I supposed to pray and not praying, but I don't know. No, you can't pray with no yaqeen. Right? Prayer has to have yaqeen. All of the conditions of prayer must have yaqeen, including tahara. Tahara must be on yaqeen. Then your prayer is sah, your prayer is valid. Kaswa is doing halal. So if today I'm expecting my menstruation to end, and given that I have only a slight amount of brown discharge in the morning, when should I perform ghusl today? When you see white? I just have to answer, sorry. So now I answered the question. Right, so when are you supposed to perform ghusl? Okay, answer the question. Right, and sometimes on the last menstruation, I find myself doing ghusl a bit to be cautious that the menstruation is totally completed. Correct, you are right. And I know the two signs that you either observe dryness and clear discharge from the insides of your vagina, not on your panty liner, right? It is not based on the panty liner, but on the insides of your vagina, right? Or clear discharge. But sometimes I tend to delay a bit, especially trying to observe complete dryness. That is correct, because you cannot bathe until you have yaqeen. Right, I think I answered the entire question. So principle. Right, so are you sinful? First and foremost, as long as you are who? Wash your feet, wash your feet. Didn't touch. Okay. Now wash your feet, wash your feet. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the principle is the bath can only be done when purity is known for certain, right? For certain. Alhamdulillah. Right. Hence you have to wait to be certain, and then you have to wait. If you have to wait to be certain, you have to wait. Right? There is no sin. Right. You can only make the bath when you are certain. Okay. Right. So there's no sin, inshallah. Okay. Right. So only when you see the whites, right, discharge, right, then you can bathe, or you can see the blood has ended in all its colors, in all the colors of the blood. Right, it has ended. So I hope you're clear on that. Okay. Okay, let's try the next question. This question, are we considered clean from menses on day 15 or day 16? Question. Come on, everybody answer. My answer is there, sorry. Everybody answer. Everybody answer. Are you clean on day 15 or 16? What's the answer? Day 15 or 16? Come on, everyone. Answer. Day 15 or 8. How they can play the shadow? You all like to play the shadow. Are you sure 16? Are you sure 15? Come on, what's the answer? Give me a correct answer. She's playing with the lady. Where you got it? Where you got it? It's not 15, no 16. Give me a proper answer. Give me a proper answer. Of 24 hours. Of 24 hours. So it's neither day 15 nor 16 to be the answer, right? But exact timing, 15 times 24 hours to the minute, right? Understand? So from the point whereby you see the menses coming out, right? You count from that point 15 times 24 hours. So it's not day 15 nor 16, right? But 15 times 24 hours to the minute. Okay. Tamam. Okay. Right. If during which means if during the last few days of menses it came out, then don't have, and after that a few hours later 8 hours come up again. When should I safely mandi hadas? So when should I do my bath? So the last few days of menses, you have bleeding, then no bleeding, then 8 hours again bleeding again, right? What's the answer? Who can answer this question? This is our the story of our lives. When does my menses end? When does my menses end? Every single month, the same story until we menopause. Ya Allah, ya Allah. Ya Allah, reward all the women and forgive all our sins. Because every single month we have this big when is it ending? When is it end? MashaAllah. Allahumma since why? Yes, correct. It's not it coming out, but it's on what is on the inside of you. Okay, right? And if you check if it's white, you can just bathe, go ahead and bathe, and continue with your worship, your acts of worship. Right? If it comes out again thereafter, then go back to menses. Right? Full stop. Right? You can do that. On the other hand, if it is your norm, so you know on day 7 you will see white. Then on day 8 will come out, or day 9 will come out again, and it has been your screaming, and it can be yeah, I think it's so, right. It can be on your so that then you can stay with your ada. Your ada means your norm. So you know it's gonna happen. If you make a mistake in your ada and nothing came out after that, then yeah. So it's really your ada. It's your ada. It means your norm, your norm. So you can't act on your norm. If you make a mistake by acting on your norm, then just do a qada of the prayers that you missed, that you were not supposed to miss. Right? As easy as that. Okay. So I hope everybody feels full. Yeah, I know. Right. Everywhere. Okay, tamam. Okay, just worship it. Worship it. So so just so I hope you all have tumanina, and you have sakina, you have the tranquility of these rulings, right? That you just make a ruling, right? Put a ruling, right? So you have a choice. You can bathe. You can. What's that on her tail? Oh, what? Right. You can bathe, and then you can act on the bath and do your prayers and Quran and fasting and so on, right? If it comes out again, you go back to menses and you count the days of clean as menses days. The days of clean between bloods are all menses, days in the days of menses. Okay, If you want to wait it out, you're allowed to wait it out. There is a ruling that allows you to do so. Please revise chapter 3, okay? So you can act on that as well. If you find it comes later on and you wait eventually, alhamdulillah, well and good. But you find that you were mistaken and there's no more blood thereafter, and you miss a few days of prayer while waiting for it to clear out, then it's on you to just do a qada, right, of the prayers that you missed. It really does. It removes anxiety. You get so anxious that am I right? Am I wrong? What's going on? Don't know what's going on. Halas, and you get so worried, right? Because it's as simple as Allah is all forgiving, right? Do your best. If you make a mistake, do what is needed to cover up. Halas, as simple as that. Right? If you had, taken your wudu and then, taken your bath and then wudu and pray and so on, and then walk him out, there's no sin because you acted on the zahir. You acted on what was apparent, and that is correct in fiqh. Right? You act on what is apparent is what? On the inside of your privates, but not on your liner. Okay, that is what is apparent. Tamam. Okay, tamam. Let's do the next question. Let me see when you, Allah, who is screaming like that? Tamam. Yeah, so let me see the answer here. Right, so C is repeated correct, and P, how many days usually clean, then bring it out. Right, and so there are two opinions. You can act on either opinion, both are sah. Right, both are opinion. Well, if you may find that you're wrong, then you just do the what is required, right, to overcome it. To correct the wrong, you become considered menses. The period is considered is correct. Okay, tamam. So now the question here, I'm going to entire of the 3 questions. If you know you are clean from a haid or from a hadath or haid, right, but you are outside working and you can't do, okay, there's a problem, Ibrahim. Now, Bismillah, Bismillah. And then you do not pray, miss all your praises of Allah. Until kamu and bathe, then you do a qada for all. Okay, no matter what, right? Whatever praise you've missed, regardless of there is a qada. No matter what, right? There is no such thing as like missing prayer without for it. No such thing. So whether it's menses, not menses, whether it's whatever it is, even if it's jahl, like ignorance, you went through your days in secondary school, in college, in poly, in university, right? Even if when you got your puberty, you've not been praying properly, right? Every prayer is wajib the moment the prayer has come in. So whatever prayer if you have missed in your life, right, not due to menses, right, but just missed prayers, right, then all of them you require, there's a requirement, right, to qada all missed prayers. That is default understanding, default statement, default understanding. Okay, so second, but I want to say here is you try very best to bathe. You need to. Okay, so you need to find a place where you can do this bath. Allah. Right. So as far as I know, right, most masjids in Singapore, and alhamdulillah, what I've noticed in masjids in Singapore, there are shower cubicles, the shower rooms. Right. And if there are no shower rooms, you just I have done, and I have done this. Truly I have done this. During my break time, I bought a 1.5 liter water bottle, a bottle of water, and then it's water. It's very normal bottle. Bottle. You buy one or two, depending on how much depending on how much you eat. Eat blah. Depending on how much you see, I eat your biscuits. Depending on how much you eat, right? So I bought an entire 1.5 liter bottle and then gone to a cubicle in the masjid because all wet. Don't go to a public cubicle where it's all dry. Non countries cubicles are all dry, right? But go to a masjid, right, whereby they're wet cubicles, right? And then I literally, whether it's a cubicle for shower or cubicle for for doing your business, right? Can you shower there? Use the bottle. Basically, minimum ghusl, minimum bath is your every part of your skin and your hair has touched water, basically. So I have done this. In my life, even at airports, because you don't have to travel the aeroplane the entire time you're clean. Halas, you what 1-2 days not praying? You're gonna do a bath somewhere, right? And actually, airports are easy because you have rooms for bath. They actually do because people do transit and stuff like that, and they can bathe. So I've not found a time in my life where I could not do the bath at all in my life, right? Even when I was doing Eid visiting once, I was clean. Eid visiting, so Eid visiting, I was clean at someone's house, right? So I obviously went to the woman, I mean, my family member, I mean, my auntie, and I was like, I have to Muslim. Right. And she was like, there's no shame in this. You have to pray, you have to pray. So I have to pray. I'm not about to miss Zuhur, Asr, Maghrib, or Isha. But I get home. Right. So I have done it. I have done this. I've traveled around and really in the most difficult situations in school, right? In schools, teaching, at in university, wherever. I've done, all of this bathing. So I don't, my husband himself as well. But of course, my husband, I mean, for men, it's easy. They don't have menses, right? But there was once a question whereby I think his niece asked a question, that if she's in school or she's working in Ramadan, they're fasting, but can't pray, right? Can't pray 5 times a day, right? Is the fasting counted? And my husband, I remember this class, my husband was saying to his niece, he has gone through so many situations as he was in the army, right? He was in the army for his special service. He was in the jungles. He was in Ubin. He was in wherever he was at. He has never found a time when he cannot pray. He has never. Right? The religion has so much rukhsa. He has so much leniencies that he has never found a time in his life whereby he cannot pray. And myself, I will attest to that. I've never found a time in my life whereby I cannot pray. Right? But it's really it's a matter of will. If you will, right, Allah will show you how. If there's a will, you really want to do it. Allah will show you where to do it and how to do it. Allah will show you. Okay. All right. Okay. So you can do ghusl somehow or other. Right. And if you really cannot find water to do ghusl, for example, then it's always a hukum of tayammum. Right. But in that situation, there has to be qada thereafter. But you do tayammum in place of ghusl if you cannot find water. Right. And then you do tayammum and then you pray your prayers. And then later on full qada. But you must pray your prayers on time. You cannot miss your prayers. It is it'll be a major sin. Kaba'ir, major sin to miss your prayers. So do the very best that you can. Is the principle in fiqh. If you can't do all, then don't fall short on doing what you can best. Okay? So the principle in fiqh. If you can't, lam ya'ti bikul la yaqsir anil ba'd. Right? So if you can't do all, then don't fall short on doing your best. Okay? But I've not found in my entire life. I've been through internship, I went through research, university, I went through all kinds of things in my life. Yeah, airports. I mean, you go through all kinds of things in your life. I've not found a single time where I could not make a bath. Right? And if you can't make a bath because of no water, then tayammum. Tayammum is always there. Tayammum. Right? So you don't just istinja and take wudu and pray. No, you do your very best. Right? Take a bath. Like, and in fact, if you can, because as what Hababa will always say, that in any job, you always have a possibility of going to the bathroom. If you have a possibility of going to the bathroom, you can definitely do a bath, you can do your wudu and pray. Right? Inshallah, you can. Okay? Right? So you can do public and wudu, okay, so you pray by yourself. How does it feel strong? You know what? Okay, do your very best, right? The ruling is you need to do your very best. Don't just dismiss it and say, I can't pray. Allahumma salli Muhammad. Don't just say, I can't pray, I can't sinja, I can't wudu, I can't. Most of our countries here, I think Singapore, from Singapore, from Malaysia, from Malaysia or from a Muslim country, people from South Africa, from the UK, right? Our countries have shops that sell water. All of us, right? MashaAllah, we're not in countries whereby water is scarce, alhamdulillah. Right? You could just go very well to any 7-Eleven, any convenience store and buy water. Right? So why are you unable to do a proper istinja and wudu? You can go to literally any store and buy water, buy a bottle of water. Like, in fact, yeah, just carry the bottle, if you carry an empty bottle around, carry a bit around, right? Or just buy water. Even in fact, that day in Tarim, our water was cut off. So Tarim water gets cut off. Then I came back from school after Dhuhr and the water was cut, no water in my entire building up till 10 p.m. at night. It was Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Istinja, and it's kittens all around. Right? Wash their paws. And now eating the biscuits. Right? So so what happened was that actually downstairs there's the water that is for drinking. It's Habib's water lah. Habib puts water downstairs where we get water for drinking. So for us, we can't drink water. We're not supposed to. Not supposed to drink water from a tap. Right? We're supposed to get water from downstairs at the proper source of drinking water. So I told my husband, okay, go get the water from there. We can use the water for our istinja, for our wudu, and all that. So he went down, he filled our big bottles, of water from the side. And when he came up, then it occurred to me the fiqh ruling, right? Is this water waqaf? I don't know. So I didn't know if the water was waqaf or not. If the water is waqaf, right? Waqaf, by Habib Umar, for the drinking of the students here in Tarim, then waqaf water cannot be used for anything except drinking. You can't use it for wudu, no istinja, no ghusl. You can't do anything with waqaf water except drinking. It is very clear that the ruling in fiqh. So what do? We went downstairs and bought water from the shops. What else are you gonna do? We're not gonna have water till 10 p.m. at night. I'm not gonna miss my Zuhr and Maghrib Isha. And my husband, he will go to the masjid to go and pray. Hala said he's good at the masjid. But I was at home and I'm like, I need water. Right? And I was too afraid to use the water downstairs, the free water downstairs, because I didn't know if it was waqaf or not. I think it's waqaf, I'm not so sure. Right? So, but if it's waqaf, I can't use it. So we just went to the shop and we bought big bottles of water from the shop. Right? And then we use it as our istinja water and our wood water. So I don't know why it is that people can't do istinja and wudu. Maybe you can explain to me why. Like why you can't do it. I've not found a single time in my life where I can't do it. In my entire life. My mom was okay. I'm maybe I'm my 30s, too young. My mother, okay, my mother. My mother, you can use tissue if you have fulfilled the 8 conditions of tissue, which is highly mustahil a lot of times, because if you are sitting down on toilet bowl, because of the conditions of using istijmar, right, tissue, the najis cannot spread to the other parts of your body. So if for example with discharge, if it has already come out onto your underwear, it has smeared onto your privates. So the moment the najasa has smeared, the only way around it is water. Right? Tissue is only allowed when the najasa comes out directly out and does not touch anything at all. And so you're wondering, how is that possible? When you squat. When you squat and your legs are far apart, the najasa can come out directly without smearing. For women, unlike men, for women, our urine, khalas. If our urine comes out, it smears on your thighs. It's like so almost impossible for us sitting on the toilet, not squatting and sitting, almost impossible to use tissue, right? Because it's our najasa smears as women. So if you squat, it comes out straight. Like straight, then you can use the law of tissue. Inshallah, go through the classes on fiqh, and you'll find the 8 conditions before you can use tissue. Like the eight conditions. The 8 conditions before you can use tissue. Right? People don't know this, and they just use tissue whenever they want to use tissue. Subhanallah. Then the istijah is all not sah. But please learn your fiqh properly. Please learn your fiqh properly. Go through classes. Right? Which is why for me I bring bottles around. Right? Now you can go on Shopee and buy like portable bidet bottles. Bidet. Is it called bidet? Bidet. We call it bidet Singaporean. We call it bidet. No, bidet. Yeah, you can actually go on Shopee right now, search portable bidet bottles, and you can actually put the spout into the bottle, and it can collapse. It's like silicone, and then you squeeze it into you get the water coming out, and you get istinja so happily. Right? So I don't see why anyone is not able to do istinja and wudu. I don't see why this is possible. Or this is the situation. Kitty? Okay. Right. So you gotta do a full proper bath and qada. You gotta do a full proper bath and qada. Do your bath when you're clean. Right? Do the very best. You need to really find a way. When you're sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will find a way. Trust my words, inshallah. Trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will not let down the one who wants to be sincere to him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even if you can't find a way, the way is tayammum. Right? Not to just go ahead. Right? Tayammum. Right? If you can't find water, tayammum. Right? Even if you can't find for yourself clean during Isha, take a bath pre Isha. The qada maghrib goes for Asr. We've got to that earlier on, okay? So clean during Isha, into qada maghrib, clean during Asr, qada zuhur. So I put here, you have to find a way to take the bath. Try your very best. And if you really can't, and pray as you are, and then do call later. But we have if really I cannot find a way to read, right? Then tayammum, and still pray, right? Pray in the time, and you must do qada later when you have food tahara. Okay, I'm gonna put a principle here on in fiqh, right? A few principles, okay? Principle 1. If you can't do any acts of worship, whether it's tahara or prayer, right? Example, tahara, miscarrying the tahara, prayer, right? Right? Act of worship fully, right? Then don't fall short on doing the most you can. There's the first principle of okay. Okay, if you can't do any act of worship fully, then don't fall short on doing the most you can. So even like for example, you only have like 30 milliliters of water, right? And you have to do a ghusl, you pour that water on your head, right? And it's tayammum. Okay, so if you need that small amount of water, you must do ghusl or do wudu. You use the water. Then you go ahead and do tayammum. You must do the maximum you can do. Okay, principle 2. Principle, right? 2. Second principle. Afwan. 2. What's the second principle? Second principle is with regards to prayer. The prayer. Regards to the prayer. In regards to the prayer, right? When in regards to the prayer, if a person falls short on any of the conditions of prayer, right? What are the conditions of prayer? For example, tahara, right? Facing qibla, cover aura, right? For example, entrance or prayer time. For example, okay, these are the conditions of prayer, and there are more conditions of prayer, right? So, but it's the main ones to fall short on. If anyone falls short on any of the conditions of prayer, right, then they still pray, right, to the best of their ability in fulfilling the conditions, right? But when they are able to fully fulfill all the conditions, they must do a qada. Bracket usually. Because they are situation where you don't have to do a qada. But for now, I will put do a qada. Okay, because if you want to really know the entire thing to learn more fiqh. All right, so second principle with regards to prayer, if you fall short on any of the conditions of prayer, for example, not full tahara, right, or don't know where's the qibla, or unable to cover your aura fully, or unable to pray in the prayer time and you pray before the prayer time, all right? So if any of these things happen, right, you still pray the very best of your ability in the prayer time as however you are. Then later on, whenever it is that you're able to fully, fulfill all conditions, you must do a qada. And why do we do this? To free ourselves from sin. Okay? Right. So this is actually what you will, right? This is called, right, hurmatul waqt. Right? Salat, right? Hurmatul waqt. Right? Which means, right, to pray, to honor, right, the prayer time, right, so as to free yourself of blame, right, and sin for missing the prayer. So you don't just oh, I miss the prayer. I can't find tahara. I can't get tahara. I can't do my wudu. I can't do my ghusl. I don't know where the qibla. My aurat is not covered. Oh, what? All these reasons. It's okay. Therefore, I will not pray. I'll pray later on. No, if you do that, then you are sinful from the point the prayer time comes out. Right? You're sinful the entire time until you pray. Okay. So if you pray deficient, If you have deficiency in the shurut, but you pray, that is your proof to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you did not want to miss your prayer, but you have no other choice because there's no way around this your situation. Right? So you pray as a proof that you have not missed your prayer. Right? But is your prayer deficient? Yes. Is your prayer valid? No, it's not valid. It's deficient. But it's a proof to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you're not trying to miss your prayer. Right? Then later on, when you can fully do all the conditions, then you pray again. And you must pray again. That is the meaning of harmatul waqt. That means to show you are respecting the prayer time. You're honoring prayer time. Okay, I'm doing all Q&A the entire lesson. But it's good for us to reflect. When I'm already had that listen to questions here. Okay. Nah, masih has toilet. My ever done. I've ever in Singapore, I went one in Thailand. I've done this. There's so many things in my life. So in Singapore, I went to my friend's house, non-Muslim, and I had to pray, right? And then back then I was very young. I remember I was very young, and I didn't know where's the Qibla. I didn't bring socks. I was very young, very young. Okay, very young at the time. I think I was a teenager or something like that. But I knew I had to pray. I had to pray. I didn't bring socks. I couldn't cover my feet. Didn't bring the telekong. Didn't expect to stay so long at my non-Muslim friend's house. And then so I asked my friend, so I didn't know where's the Qibla. I didn't know where was the Qibla. And I asked my friend, is there a nearest masjid? And my friend was like, it's quite far away, the nearest masjid. Then I said, do you have any Muslim neighbors? I actually asked my friend that, any Muslim neighbors? And my friend was like, yeah, we have a Muslim neighbor down the road. And then, no, not down the corridor, in the flat, some flat. So my friend, they brought me to her Muslim neighbor, knocked the door, right? And then I say, Afwan, makcik, auntie, can I pray your house? I said to her, can I pray your house? I didn't bring any of my prayer garments. And I think I was 13 or 14. It was an incident. And I said, can I pray your house? Take wudu and pray your house. And the lady said, marhaban. And she said, marhaban. She said, masuk, masuk, masuk. And come in. Come pray. And she let me to pray. So I've done that. I even done, also, I had once, I was giving tuition. So I was teaching my student was non-Muslim, right? So I would teach the younger brother, it's primary school, back then, from Asar to Maghrib, right? Then because it's a bit far from my house, I will take like a 3-minute break and then continue the sister who's doing O levels, right? And they're all non-Muslim, khalas. So there was a 3-minute break after the mother because the mother was like, do back, so it's easier for her to just watch that we're teaching. So I take it back to back. Yes, I can, but I could do it after Asar because they work from school. Then I can't do it back after Maghrib because it will be too late by then. So one class before Maghrib, one class after Maghrib. So where's Maghrib? Right? So and it was non-Muslim family. So so there was one where I went out, right? Usually I keep my wudu. So I'll pray in the stairwell. I'll pray in the stairwell. Pray Maghrib in the stairwell. But there was one time whereby I can't remember what happened. But for some reason I could not pray in the stairwell. I had construction workers in the stairwell. So I was so scared to go. Because Maghrib and there are like construction workers there, random men who out at the stairwell. I couldn't enter the stairwell to pray because there's so much men there. Right? Of Rahim, and then got Allah Rasulullah, right? Allah and Muhammad on the door. So every Muslim must have some indication they're a Muslim. So any Muslim in need can Muslim house, alhamdulillah. So I saw a Muslim house. I knocked the door. I should knock the door. And they said, Afwan, I'm doing tuition over in that house. And then I said to them, it was a woman that opened the door, can I pray in your house? And then because I usually I pray at the staircase, but then there's people there. Right? And then so she was like, Marhaba, and she let me go in. No, again, once I was in Singapore, I was like, masuk. Come in. In Tarim, they said, Marhaba, right? So I entered and then she begins, and then the woman made friends with me. I'm friends with her. And she was like, anytime you teach her for tuition, just come to our house. She was like 2 doors down from my student's house. I said, just come to our house. Just spray. Run. Just spray the box. What's she doing? Huh? Box in the. No, Khalid, bring her here. Okay. So sorry. So I began praying there every night. I mean, not every time I had to show pray at this woman's house. So it was like that, mashallah. Right. So I have many stories in my life, many stories, right, of where I just prayed in random places. I've not found a single time in my life this one. Why didn't the Muslim just pray in the non-Muslim house? Is it not allowed? It is allowed, right? But I did not do it because I don't know why. There was a reason why I didn't do it. Either because I was too. I think they had a dog in that house. Yeah, so I had like this whole like high waswasa going on. Of course, if you don't see the najasa, there's a najasa, by the fear of it, right? But but yeah, but whenever I come, they'll keep a dog in the room, right? So, but when I'm not there, dogs all over the place, right? Yeah. So I cannot. I think there was a dog or something, or like in a sense, I had a lot of waswasa in that house. So I wouldn't pray there for some reason. Some reason I can't remember what. For some reason, okay. But there was some that made me go out. But I found myself many times whereby I would find ways and means to do my prayers. I would find my why is she doing? Hey, Ale. No. Do this a good girl. Okay, tamam, let me just continue, so the fiqh class you want to join, I'm inshallah resuming the one on Nur Insan. But you can go onto my playlist and find the fiqh classes. I will show inshallah in a while. So now I can't remember why I didn't ask the non-Muslim why I can't pray there. I can't remember. But I think it has to do with dog. I think usually there's some reason why I did not want to do it there. For some reason. Okay, so now, so next question: when I'm on the hadas, when I bathe, I hope people can try and make your questions international because we do have international students here, right? So I have people from South Africa, students from the UK, from other parts of the world. So if possible, can we please be English? Right, bathe, I can do the major bath. Right, can I intend from both haid and nifas if unsure? I'm not so sure why there is an unsurety between haid and nifas. Nifas is nifas, haid is haid, right? So, but actually, in fact, if you intend to remove major hadas, colors, your major hadas removed, whether or not it's haid or nifas, and ask the question, why are you confused? I am wondering, why are you confused? Why is there confusion between haid and nifas? Nifas comes after you give birth. Right, the baby came out, the baby, right? Or maybe it's a miscarriage, is it? Maybe early miscarriage. Maybe early miscarriage, not so sure it is blood nifas. Doesn't matter. Just this in 10 major hadath. Tamam. Question here. How many more questions do we have? Okay, I think I will see. So when to check if it has ended, often we are obligated to check if at the end of our message, check for the end of message. For example, we can tell that it is almost over. Do we check before at the end of each prayer time? Or can we assume that we still have our menses and only check when we have this restroom? Check at the end of every prayer time. Right? Check because you want to get your prayers in. Okay, so check every prayer. Okay. Question here. I think it's the last one. Yeah, no, almost. The scenario: woman whose menses ends day 7. Student is saying clean. That's her ghusl pray. Then with her husband, no blood came out, and then that's her ghusl went to pray. And after prayer, she saw some pinkish blood discharge. Right, and they were spotting her for about 8 hours. Then she stopped spraying at that time. Is this menses? If it's not, she done the Istihadhah. She prayed. What's the answer here? So day 7, day 7 ended, had intercourse, and then blood came out again. What should she do? Menses, yes, menses. Okay, menses. Right, it's menses. So she needs to do her bath again. No sin on her that she may have intercourse because she acted on a zahir, on what is clear and apparent. She acted on what is clear and apparent. Okay, no sin on her. Okay, here. How many more do we have? We're still here. It's all up there, is it? So much more. Oh no, mashallah. Qada if it's not done immediately. What's this? Mother period like I'm trying to figure out the title. Tamam. I think if Mandi, if she did not bathe immediately, is it? So period cycle length is 7 to 8 days, including the spotting at the beginning and end, and waiting for the white discharge of the head. I may not know when it comes exactly, but I will do the highlights when I'm home and see the white disappear on my body sometime over a date. Not sure when it ended. Not sure when it ended. Right, but not on your panty liner. Right. So for how many prayers do I need to cover? From last time I saw the brown, until I saw the white discharge appears to be safe. So last time I saw for the last time we saw men's, right? Because if later you see white means the whole time you will already clean. Okay, so you must cover all prayers. Right. So had the last time you saw brown, was at 7 p.m. Then you put, your liner at there, and then the entire time, nothing on liner until maybe 2 p.m. And then you check on the inside, it's white. That means from 7 p.m. the previous day was white. Okay. Yeah, to check the inside. Right. So which means the entire time you were clean from the last time you saw the brown. Okay. So cover all the place in between, all of it, all. So you may miss Zohor, you have missed Subo, you have missed Isha, you have missed Maghrib. You gotta go back and see where was the last time. You have to do a qada. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop answering the questions at this point because I think it's a long line there. So I'm going to indicate that here. Okay, we're here. I want to go to I want to go to the class today, new class today, right? And inshallah, continue from here. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So chapter 6, let's see. Like sure. Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Bismillah. Nah, okay. Tamam. Okay, tamam. Okay. So istihadha and all methods to do with it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So he says there in his book called Al-Mu'allif rahimahullah ta'ala ونفعنا الله به وبعلومه في الدارين إلى الله إبراهيم. Okay. Show him Kaswa. So we know that from the previous lessons that the bloods that come out, the bloods that come out the blood that come out of a woman are three types, right? Only three types of blood. Menses, nifas, and istihadhah. And there is no fourth type, full stop. Teacher, Khalil, current, ministry. Okay, we're gonna cut off very soon, okay? Because they just switched to ministry. Flip the generator up. Can you show Halil? So that's the means just came on. It will cut off. Just carry alamak. Alhamdulillah, the electricity cut off. So anyway, I just want to show this part of my playlist, right? Okay, I'm in time, so nothing's gonna load off. It's gonna load anytime soon. Right, but anyway, just to show you guys, what I would recommend for people to do is to do, let's see. Okay, you can do glorious treasures of Islam, but I think the best one that I would say, Safina, I would say go through my Safina course under Majid Khalid. So Majid Khalid, right? This okay, Safina year 2, right? Not year 2, further down. I want, okay, not here, not here. Safina, Allah, Allah, Allah. Yeah, now I need to. Now it's all linked. Yeah, basically, I can show it's all. It's gonna appear all on my YouTube. Right. So basically, there is Safina year 1. Okay, let me just stop my live for a while. How do I stop the live? And to stop the live. Never mind. It's okay. Yeah, I will do this later on. I will stop the live YouTube first, then I'll go down and see it because some of my videos can see my face. So I don't want to do that. Okay. Now. So let me just go here. Where am I? Okay. So just we're just doing this again, ya Allah, what am I doing? So this chapter you will learn so that there are only three types of blood. Right? So any blood that comes out of you, and blood meaning the colors of menses that we're going through in chapter 2. Right. So 3 types of bloods, menses, nifas, and istihadhah. There is no 2 lessons. Istihadhah, afan. So that can come several ways, right? Blood that comes from the age. So several ways. Again, 5 ways. 5 ways in which istihadhah it can come. First way, right? Blood that comes from before the age of puberty. Age of puberty is 9 taqribi. Taqribiyan, qamariyah, taqribiyah. Qamariyah, taqribiyah. Which means on the Hijri birthday, right, 15 days before, right, there is age puberty. Right, so any coloring that comes before that, any brown, red, right, colors of menses before that, then it's not under menses, but it's called damul fasad, means blood of illness. And it's a note on this, right? Uh, if you are like, it is really important to really guard over the diets of our children, right? Because we're in a zaman of hormones, right? So if your child is eating a lot of hormonized chicken from KFC, from McDonald's, right, from any fast foods, I'm very serious about this because I'm hearing more and more cases of girls receiving their puberty or their blood before the age of 9, at the age of 8, 7, 8 old, they're already growing, their breasts are growing, and they're 7 or they're 8, and then blood's coming out of them, they're 7 or they're 8, right? And then and even worse, I've heard of people first time menses and it's istihadhah, like black blood all the way, istihadhah all the way for past 20 days, after 20 days, first time menses. And when you go to the doctor, istihadhah is going to be a big problem for this girl because she has to qada 14 days, of missed prayers, qada. Because she's only given the minimum, menses if there's no blood differentiation. But anyway, I'll go to that one in the future, inshallah. But there's a word of caution and a word of advice to parents. Our food in our zaman hurts our body. Seriously, it does. It hurts our body, right? All these chickens are they're injected with hormones for them to grow quickly. So, and you can see, when you hold these chickens, they're all artificial chickens, they're all hormonized chickens. They're so fat because when they're from chicks to chicken, they want to grow very fast. They inject them with all these growth hormones to make them grow faster. Your kid is eating this chicken and she's consuming all these growth hormones, making her mature faster. Right? So by 7, she's getting her blood, and it's not blood by Islam. Right? There's no menses by Islam. By 8, by 9, it's subhanallah. For our girls. So I would say stay away from fast food, stay away from hot dogs, stay away from nuggets, all these processed meats, especially meats, processed meats that you buy, all these instant meats, these frozen meats, right, that you find in the supermarket. Stay far, far, far away from them. Alhamdulillah, my mother, since we were young, she's been buying kampong chicken. Like kampong meaning village. She buys village chickens. Right? So kampung chickens, even then also you don't know whether it's injected or not, Allah Alam, but they're better than all this other stuff. Stop the fast food, right? Really, if you eat KFC chicken, right? And if you eat like when I eat the Tarim chicken, the Mahali chicken, the local chicken, right? And you compare to that, and you go back to Singapore, you eat all this fast food, you feel like vomiting. You actually feel like vomiting. You feel sick. There's something wrong with this chicken, right? The bones are so fragile, so small that the flesh is overly thick, flesh, right? It is so unnatural. It's not the way Allah subhanahu is created. And because of us consuming all these nonsense hormones, so fed up, hormones that our children are going haywire, and we are going haywire. And we're having all this istihadhah and non-stop discharge and whatever. Because why? Our food is completely unhealthy. Right? So stop all this stuff. Stop all these things, all GM foods, whatsoever. You can really control it. Okay. And I would say if anyone's still eating hot dogs, please stop. Please lah. If you know what's in hot dogs, if you know what is in hot dogs, if you know what is in sausages and hot dogs, you will vomit when you see so much preservatives, flavoring, it's just complete junk in there. I'm gonna be so hard on this. Right? Nuggets, whatsoever, all full of junk. Right? Please stop. Please stop. Okay. This number one. Number two, the blood that comes from completing 3 days of purity between 2 menses. Okay, so any blood that comes in your days of purity, minimum 15 days, right, is istihadhah, right, damul fasad. Blood that flows less than 24 hours within not first day, 15 days of one. Sorry, it's a mistake there. Okay, is it not first day, but 15 days, the 15 days of menses. Okay, right. So like this happens usually for women who are going through menopause, right, or pregnancies, menopause, so on. They have like spurts of blood coming out, and then it stops. For 15 days, it stops something else there. Right? It's all under istihadhah. Blood that extends beyond the maximum time of menstrual nifas, as we've been going through. Right? So beyond 20 days, so beyond 6 days for nifas, and blood that is called talaq. Right? Talaq comes from before birth. If it is not given the ruling of menses, right? So if a woman is not having menses regularly, right, during her pregnancy, and there's blood that comes at labor. So before birth in labor, then it's called damul talaq. Right, damul talaq is istihadhah, because baby's inside. Baby has not come out. Baby come out, then nifas. Damul talaq. Okay, so all the 5 ways that you can have istihadhah. Yes, istibaha and everything. So the whole ruling of istihadhah falls or is applied for all of these 5 cases. Okay, all 5 cases. Okay, right. Ruling of istihadhah. The moment we give a ruling of istihadhah or blood of illness, because istihadhah or damul fasad, blood of illness, then automatically the person has a ruling of, first of all, daimul hadath, constantly on hadath. If there is a constant flow, be very clear. If there is a constant flow, if it's not a constant flow, you are not daimul hadath. Okay, and I'll go through the issues later on. And that the blood, all it does is nullifies wudu. Okay, but then again, we'll go into the issues later on. Okay, so the blood is ma'fu anhu also. Right? It's forgiven for the one who has it. Okay, to pray and so on. All right. This is from the hadith in the narrates. So Fatima bint Abi Hubaysh came to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm a woman who is always having bleeding and I did not become clean. Do I leave the prayer like completely? And he says, no, that is simply a vein. It is not menses. Right? It's not normal. Right? It's a vein that is ruptured, that is burst. Right? So when the menses blood comes, stop praying. When the length of time ends, then wash the blood away and pray. And here is the prophetic indication that if you can tell the difference between the bloods, right, then give the hukum of menses and the hukum of istihadhah. If you can't tell the difference, then there are ways of doing it. Going by your norm, or your last normal menses, and so on and so on. So there are ways of figuring out which part of the blood is menses, which part of the blood is istihadhah. And istihadhah is called illness, which means you're not well. You should seek a way to cure yourself. Don't live your life with istihadhah. But now I know a lot of Christian people put in all kinds of devices to stop pregnancy, and it's causing like a haywire in the person. So if possible, you can find other means of contraceptives than placing the device. Then I would say go for the other means, right? So I know some people they do it put something in the arm, then like they don't have means at all for months on end. Alhamdulillah. But I know it has all hormonal effects. Okay, it's a hormonal method. I know for the IUD, it's a mechanical method, right? So, but that does things to your womb. You're going to put a wire inside, right, to prevent pregnancy. So find ways, what's the safest ways to prevent pregnancy. Okay, possible. Okay, tamam. We're gonna stop there for today, inshallah. And then tomorrow, next week, I'm gonna continue with the questions and do the slides. Inshallah, you see also I'll go through the quiz. Okay, the quiz. Okay, inshallah, do the quiz. Okay, 10 questions ready, inshallah. Inshallah. Okay. Yeah, the speaker is not updated. So you need to ask the people who are supposed to update it why they're not updating it. They're busy lah. So give them it's to update the speaker. They're very busy. They're very busy. Right. So I think the YouTube is more accurate right now. Alhamdulillah, wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Al-Fatiha. Anna Allah yazguna amal nafi'a wa amal khasiran. والهدى والسر بقول النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم غير معلمين الشيخين وذوي الفضل علينا والى حاتم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفاتحه. الفاتحه. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.